Back for take 2 of video 2. So this is my second time having a go at doing this video. I tried to show something in the video, or the previous video, that didn't come out so well noise-wise. It was something I'll show you further into the video, but I won't waste too much more time. I got you pointed at some fairly mundane parts at the moment. Just going to walk you through some of the jobs that I'm doing at the moment. Still keen to keep going with the series, just trying to find things that I can include in videos and just showing you jobs along the way, and eventually we'll get around to getting some videos where I'm actually doing something rather than just showing you things. So got you pointed at these fairly mundane parts, as I mentioned. These parts I make for a customer, all laser cut parts. I supply these, well, I get them laser cut, and in this case where I supply material I should start with, and the customer orders these as they need them. So 204 currently sitting on the trolley at the moment, so all welded up as you can see, so there's nothing too big deal about them. Just grab one, bring it over. So as I say, laser cut part with a gusset welded on there, and all I need to do is just, so tomorrow I'll come back and clean these up, so clean all the spatter off. I'll bring over the other finished part in a moment and just show you what it is. Not that much different to this one. So just bring over a slightly more cleaner version. So just go over and clean all the spatter off. And you can see that gusset welded on there, looking a bit more tidy. So they have some M8 holes drilled and tapped on there. So they'll go into the CNC lathe after they get, CNC mill I should say, after they get cleaned up. So they look nice and tidy like that. And then they go into stock until the customer orders them. So it's always a bit of a risk making parts, and don't know if people are going to be, well, customers are going to be buying them, but the customer still seems to be using them still, and I'll just continue making them until they don't want them anymore. So that's just the chances you take when, especially when you're like me, you're just a small shop, just trying to do what you can and get the jobs that you can get. You don't ask will or why, you just get it done. So not waste too much more time, to show you probably one other part and then just take you in and show you the part that didn't finish up working out in the previous video. Was, as I said, mentioned, it was a little bit noisy. So I'll just take you over and show you that, and then we'll just take you inside to show you that part to wind up the video. So this is a part I did have a go at shooting again. I'm not great on shooting video, and I'm probably not that great on editing either. Well, I'm pretty zero on editing, so if I manage to stuff a video up, it's back to start again and do it all over again. I don't know which is worse, editing or reshooting. So we'll work on reshooting the video at the moment, because I say I'm not big on editing videos. You might remember this part from an earlier video where it wasn't in its turn stage yet, where I was showing you some hollow bar that was sitting on a trolley. So we've got it up to the turn part at the moment. So I'll just prick that up and show you, so a bit of weight in it. So that's just bored through the center and all turned all over. So we just get it to that point, okay, and then they just sit there waiting to go on to the next stage, which is a bit of a lighter part here. So I will show you this in a video coming up, where I'll show you a little bit of a sequence and so on, so a little bit more of actually doing something. So nothing too high-tech about it, just removing a fair bit of material from the ID there. It's just a turning strategy that I just wanted to show you guys for removing, well, a fair amount of material. In this case, probably at least maybe 80% of the surface area, I suppose, what you can see there. I'll talk a bit more about it in the future video. I won't go into it too much, just keep this video fairly brief. It's getting a little bit late on Saturday night now, and just want to get the last part done. Just show you a before and after of that part before I finish up. I just thought I'd just show you that part as I sort of working our way around the shop, and I will bring you back and show you this part in a future video. It's a, what is it? I'd rather not say. It's just a part that I produce as a product and I sell it to customers. So as I say, the detail of it doesn't really matter, but it's something that I've been doing for a fair while. I was originally doing this part on the manual machine, believe it or not, so I didn't do that for long. Obviously it takes a long time, and the other problem was I had a bit of trouble getting the material at the right price. So coming from that material, or the one that was sitting on the trolley in the previous video, I think it was about 2 or 3 videos back if you're interested, where I was taking a bit of a look around the shop, and I showed you that hollow bar sitting in the rack. So that's progressing through the CNC lathe. I was doing that yesterday and had to stop to do those welded parts that are sitting on the trolley and one other job as well. So, but I won't worry about showing you every single job I'm doing. But that's something I do plan to do in a future videos. I say nothing too high tech about it, but nothing. I don't do anything that launches into outer space. So fairly straightforward parts that customer give me, and some parts that I make and try to on-sell them, and that's just one of those parts there. So that's going way back to when, well, to give you a bit of a gauge of how far that goes back years-wise, that part goes back to before I started doing the Mazak video. So that's how long I've been doing that part for. And as I say, you just start where you start, and that's where I started from, on the manual lathe, and then eventually I brought the Mazak, which is still here but not finished, and then I brought the D&N Solutions / Doosan lathe, which you see in a couple of my videos. So they're things that are sort of going to come up in future videos. Well, that's the plan anyway, so keep going with this series. I just thought I'd just show you those few parts there, just to put something in the video for you guys to have a look at, and just take you over into the noisy room now. So before I finish up for the night, I want to have a life, so eventually have some Saturday night to myself, since I'm shooting a fair few videos on Saturday night lately. I did show this video a little while back. I think it was a couple of videos back, where this was sitting on the floor. There was 5 of them there, and that's all I had at the time. I've got 10 of them to do this time, and we've still got the same drama as what was happening then. Short on parts, so all the parts are supplied by my customer, and all I have to do is glue them together. I did show you that bush down the bottom there, so that's that part I supply, and that was where it sort of got me started. And then the customer basically got, well, this is overload work, so he asked me to help him out, and we keep going with it until they decide they want to start doing it. So I'm happy to keep going doing this part until the customer wants to do it and do their job again. So as I say, all customer supplied material on this one, except for that small bush that I make. There's that shitty looking weld on there. Well, it's not terrible on this one, but it's this is all welded in spray transfer, so it's a little bit hard to control the fluidness of spray transfer. If you've ever welded MIG with spray transfer, you'll know how nice it is to weld with, but it's not great for out of position work. So that hole goes through to a pin inside, as I mentioned in the previous video. So that goes through down to that shaft, which you can see the outer cover there. That this part gets welded in, this fixture, and ground and cleaned up. So that gets welded up to give this part more strength, as I mentioned earlier in another video, and that gets cleaned off to this point. So that's where I sort of was just set up, and I was showing you this in a sequence, but then I sort of thought to myself, well, why show you that? But it was just to show you something that was actually happening in a video, but with the amount of noise and the way the camera was picking up the sound, it really wasn't worth posting. So here we are with take 2. So there's one more to go. I've got one that's finished, so I'll take this one out, bring one up that's finished to give you a look, rather than me pausing and bringing you back to show you this one finished. I'll just get another one set in here, what it looks like finished, because someone was asking about what it looks like after it's finished. So seeing it in this, how crap it looks now, and they asked us, can you show what it looks like after? So here we are at that point. So I'll get the other one set up and I'll bring you back. So this part of the video, you could sort of call it one I prepared earlier. So that one's the last one that I've got to do, and the one I've just taken out, and just set this one here so if you guys can see what it looks like after. As you can see, that's all sanded off there, so that shitty looking weld you don't even know about, and this is all nicely sanded off. So I just dress it in anyway, just to blend in lines. I don't need to sand that far off, it's just to blend it all in to make it look all even. It's probably me being a bit pedantic, because these get blasted and painted. No one's ever going to see my fancy sanding work. The weld that's up the top there, just had to pause for a second there. The weld that's up the top there, the customer doesn't really require it cleaned off like that. They're just happy to leave it as a weld part, but it has that nicer transition there, as you can see, where that material finishes there, and you have a weld across there, fill up that opening in there where this is glued onto this part. So there's arm coming up here where the hole is. So it probably makes more sense when you're watching in the video, where I'm shooting this in sequence, so it looks a bit different to me. It just looks a lot nicer with that finished. They've never said they like it or don't like it, so it's just my personal thing. But as you can see, it looks a lot better than having that big blob of weld sitting on there. So some of the welds come out better than others, depends on how straight they cut that. As a customer supplied part, they don't always cut these nice and straight. Sometimes they cut like on a bit of an angle, so it's pretty hard to get a nice weld in there where they don't cut this material straight. So anyway, that'll do. I probably mainly just want to bring you back and show you a few jobs, and trying to include this at some point in the video where someone asks, can we see it as an after, what it looks like after you finish. When you see all the spatter all over it, they want to see what it looked like when it was finished. So hopefully that's a good representation of what you'll see. Anyway, if you ever see any of my work anyway, not that you probably ever will, but these are the jobs that I do, and just sort of bringing you along on the type of work that I do in my little shops, and happy to get this work and happy to keep going with the series. I look forward to coming back and showing you that turning job in the CNC lathe at some point. As I say, that's more of a turning strategy than anything else, nothing too exciting. But look forward to getting back and getting that video done next time I run those parts. I've got enough of them for the moment to supply the customer, so next time I'm set up, I'll try and get a video of that, and just another video to add in the series of this in the shop videos. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Okay, talk to you guys soon. Okay, bye-bye for now.